What if you could disappear? Not in the literal sense, but imagine shedding your old self, your fears, your doubts, your limitations, and becoming unrecognizable. What if this year you truly became the person you were always meant to be? What would your life look like if you stepped into your power, left your past behind, and embraced the unknown with open arms? Let me tell you something, this year is your year of transformation. The world isn't waiting for you to be ready, it's demanding you step up. Every moment you hesitate, every moment you stay stuck in who you used to be, you delay your true potential. But here's the truth. You can choose to disappear from the version of yourself that's been holding you back. You can let go of everything that doesn't serve you. You can become unrecognizable. And that journey starts now. You see, disappearing into your true self doesn't mean vanishing into thin air. It means shedding the parts of you that have held you down. It's like a snake shedding its skin. It's uncomfortable, messy, and downright painful. But without it, the snake can't grow. It can't evolve. That's what transformation looks like. It's the act of shedding old habits, limiting beliefs, and the version of yourself that's stuck in fear and self-doubt. You spend enough time hiding behind those old versions of yourself. The person who gave into the comfort zone, the person who believed that growth was too hard, the person who thought they weren't capable of more. Now, it's time to grow, and growth isn't easy. It's not supposed to be. If it was, everyone would be doing it. But you're here because you're ready to face the discomfort. You're ready to become someone unrecognizable, to step into the unknown and embrace the power of who you are meant to be. This is your moment. Right now, you can either choose to stay exactly the same or you can disappear from the person you've been and become someone completely unrecognizable. But here's the thing, the cost of staying the same is steep. The price of stagnation, it's regret. It's missed opportunities. It's a life spent wondering, what if I had taken that chance? The truth is, comfort is a trap. You think you're safe, but it's the comfort that's holding you back. It's that familiar version of yourself that's keeping you from greatness. And every time you say, I'll change tomorrow, or I'm not ready yet, you're building a life of what could have been. This is not the time to settle, not anymore. You've been settling for far too long. It's time to stop playing small. It's time to step into your greatness. And I'm not asking you to take a small step. I'm asking you to take the leap. Are you ready to step into the unknown? Are you ready to disappear from the version of yourself that holds you back and step into the person you were born to be? Let's be real for a moment. The person you are today, the version of you that's been showing up day after day, isn't as powerful as you could be. Why? Because you've been stuck in your comfort zone. Comfort zones are sneaky, they feel safe, but they're prisons for your potential. They reinforce the old self. The person who tells themselves, I'm fine, I'll stay here, I don't need to change. Think of it like a tree. The roots are buried deep in the soil of familiarity. It's hard to grow when your roots are locked in place, staying stuck in what's comfortable. You've been avoiding discomfort, avoiding the pain of growth, avoiding the very thing that will set you free. But here's the truth. Growth never happens in the comfort zone. If you want to become unrecognizable, if you want to step into who you were always meant to be, you have to uproot yourself. You have to challenge the old you that's buried in fear and habit. Ask yourself, are you still holding on to yesterday's version of yourself? Are you still relying on the comfort of your old identity? Or are you ready to break free, to become something new, something greater? Let's talk about the habits that are keeping you stuck. The habits you've been holding on to even though they're not serving you. Procrastination, fear of failure, lack of discipline. They're like anchors, holding you in place while the world keeps moving forward. Procrastination is a silent killer. It doesn't shout, it's subtle. It lulls you into thinking, I'll do it later. But later never comes. It's like quicksand. The more you stay stuck, the harder it becomes to move. Tell yourself it's not that bad, but every day you put things off, you're digging yourself deeper into the sand. Fear and doubt are just as destructive. They tell you you're not good enough, you're not capable, you can't do it. But listen to me, those voices are lies. They are the old you trying to hold you back. You have to ignore them. You have to take action no matter how scared you feel. What habits are you still holding on to that keep you stuck in the past? What are you allowing to define you? You need to face them head on. Let them go. You need to choose a different path. If you don't change, if you stay where you are, I promise you, you'll look back one day and wonder what could have been. You'll regret the years spent playing small, staying safe, never pushing yourself to be more. The consequences of staying stagnant are painful. You'll watch others move forward, evolve, and achieve things you thought were out of reach, and you'll wonder why you never did the same. The opportunity to transform yourself, to become someone unrecognizable, is slipping through your fingers every time you choose comfort over growth. The person you could become, the person you were meant to be, is out there waiting for you. But if you keep staying stuck in the past, you'll never get there. You'll never know what it feels like to step into your true power. Don't wait until it's too late. Don't wait until you're filled with regret, asking yourself, why didn't I do something when I had the chance? The only thing standing between you and the life you've always dreamed of is the decision to step forward, to become unrecognizable. Let me tell you something. Transformation is not easy. It's painful. It's uncomfortable. It's downright hard. But here's the thing. If it were easy, everyone would do it. And the fact that it's hard is exactly why you have to do it. It's like a caterpillar in a cocoon. The struggle is real. It's painful. But the struggle is what makes the butterfly. You're in that cocoon right now. You're in the discomfort. But you cannot stay there forever. You cannot stay stuck in the old you. The person you've been is not the person you were meant to be. You have to let go. You have to face the fear, the discomfort, the pain, and push through it. Are you ready to face the pain of transformation for a better life? Are you ready to let go of the old habits, the old beliefs, the old fears, and step into the new you? Because that's the only way forward. You cannot be the same person you were yesterday and expect different results. You must change. You must grow. You must disappear from who you've been. And here's the hardest part, fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of not being good enough. But let me tell you something. Fear is a sign that you're on the right path. Fear is the signal that you're pushing yourself beyond your limits, beyond what's comfortable, beyond the darkness before the dawn. Fear is the enemy of growth. And if you don't face it now, it will haunt you for the rest of your life. Fear is not there to stop you. It's there to show you that you're about to break through to something amazing. So what's it going to be? Are you going to let fear control you, or are you going to face it head on and move forward anyway? Because the only way to become unrecognizable is to step into the unknown, to step into the fear, and to trust that you are capable of so much more than you realize. You have to make the choice. Fear will either control you or you will control it. Let's face a hard truth right now. The version of yourself you're living today is likely a result of the comfort zone you've built around yourself. And while comfort feels good, it doesn't make you grow. Comfort zones are like invisible walls that trap you in a space of mediocrity. They're not just places where you feel safe, they are prisons for your potential. Think of the old you as a tree. Its roots are buried deep in the soil of comfort. You've been in the same place for so long and you've convinced yourself that this is all you need. But here's the problem. Trees with deep roots in one place don't grow taller. They don't stretch for the sky. They don't reach for more. And they don't bloom into something beautiful. The longer the tree stays where it is, the harder it becomes for it to break free and truly grow. And that's exactly where you are right now. Your comfort zone is preventing you from evolving. Maybe you've told yourself that you're fine where you are, that change is too much, too scary, or too uncertain. But in reality, by holding on to the old you, the old version of yourself who clings to comfort, you're stifling your own potential. Ask yourself, are you still holding on to yesterday's version of yourself? Is it easier to stay in the same place than to move forward? I'm challenging you to look deep inside and ask if you're ready to stop hiding behind the illusion of safety. Because real growth doesn't happen in comfort. It happens when you take the risk of stepping outside of it. Now, let's get real. It's not just the comfort zone that keeps you stuck. It's the habits you've developed over time. Habits like procrastination, fear, and a lack of discipline. These aren't just little quirks. They're like invisible chains that keep you locked in place. Procrastination is one of the worst offenders. It's like quicksand. At first you tell yourself, I'll do it tomorrow, but the more you wait, the deeper you sink into it. And the more you delay, the harder it becomes to get out. What starts as one tomorrow turns into dozens, weeks, months, maybe even years of telling yourself, I'll get to it later, but later never comes. Fear does the same thing. It paralyzes you, convinces you that you're not good enough, that you're not ready. And when you listen to that fear, you're allowing it to dictate your life. Fear becomes your cage, keeping you small. It makes you question every step you take. It makes you hesitate every time you think about moving forward. Discipline is the other missing link. Without discipline, nothing gets done. Without discipline, you let distractions and self-doubt pull you off course. It's easy to give up when you're not disciplined. It's easy to skip that workout, put off that project, or avoid taking the necessary steps because, well, it's easier not to. What habits are you still holding on to that keep you from becoming unrecognizable? What are the habits that have made you comfortable, but have also held you back? You know what they are? Those moments of fear, of hesitation, of giving in to procrastination. It's time to let go of those habits and take charge of your life, because until you do, you will remain stuck and you'll never be the person you were meant to become. If you choose to stay in this place, if you choose to keep holding on to the old you will pay the price. And trust me, it's a heavy one. The cost of staying stagnant is high. It's missed opportunities. It's the regret of what could have been. It's the frustration of knowing that you could have done more, you could have been more, but you stayed stuck in the past. Think about it. Years will pass, and one day you'll look back and ask yourself, what did I do with all that time? You'll wonder, why didn't I take that leap? Why didn't I take that risk? Why didn't I choose to grow when I had the chance? The person you could be, the person you know you were meant to be is waiting for you. But if you don't change now, if you don't let go of the old version of yourself, you'll never get there. You'll look back and all you'll have are the could have beens and should have beens. And that's a life filled with regret. So I'm asking you, what kind of life do you want? Do you want to be the person who let fear, comfort, and bad habits hold them back? Or do you want to be the person who, despite the discomfort, despite the fear, took the leap and became the best version of themselves? Because if you don't make that decision now, you'll forever be left wondering what could have been. And trust me, nothing hurts more than the pain of unrealized potential. I'm not here to sugarcoat it. Transformation is hard, it's messy, it's uncomfortable, but it is also absolutely necessary for you to become the person you are meant to be. Letting go of the old you, the version of yourself that has been stuck in comfort for so long. Feels like you're breaking apart. It's like a caterpillar in a cocoon. The struggle is painful, it's claustrophobic. It's as if every part of you is fighting against change. But here's the truth. Without this struggle, without this pain, you cannot fly. You see, the cocoon is not just a safe place, it's a place of transformation. But it's only through the struggle, through breaking free from the old self, that the butterfly emerges. If you try to avoid the pain, if you try to stay in the cocoon forever, you'll never become what you were meant to be. And that's the truth of your transformation. You are being forced to shed the old layers, the old identity, the old habits. It's hard, it hurts, and it feels like everything is falling apart. But what if this pain is exactly what you need to become something extraordinary? Let me ask you, are you ready to face the pain of transformation? Are you ready to endure the discomfort, the fear, and the uncertainty to become the best version of yourself? Because that's the cost of growth. It's a price you must pay to get to where you truly want to be. The fear of disappearing into someone new, the fear of becoming unrecognizable can hold you back. Fear is the enemy of change. Fear makes you question everything. It whispers in your ear, telling you that you're not capable, that you're not worthy, that it's too late. But let me tell you something. Fear is a sign that you're on the verge of greatness. It's like the dark before the dawn. When you face fear, you are stepping into the unknown, and that's where all the magic happens. The greatest danger is not facing your fears. It's staying in the comfort of what you know. Think about it. Fear is the signal that you are about to break through to something bigger than yourself. It's the signal that you're about to do something incredible, something you've never done before. Fear is not something to avoid, it's something to embrace. It's the challenge that says you are capable of more. So what are you going to do? Will you let fear control you, or will you face it and step into the unknown? Because the truth is, if you don't step into the unknown, you will stay stuck forever. But if you choose to face your fears, if you choose to move forward despite the uncertainty, you will become unrecognizable in the best way possible. Fear is just a sign that you're on the brink of something extraordinary. Don't let it stop you. Step into the unknown and become the person you were always meant to be. Let me be brutally honest with you. Letting go of who you are today is not going to be easy. The old you, the version that has gotten comfortable, the version that has been doing things the same way for years, does not want to disappear. But it has to, because here's the hard truth. If you don't let go, you will stay stuck. And stuck is not where your potential lies. Transformation, true transformation, is painful. It's like a caterpillar in a cocoon. The cocoon isn't some magical place of safety. It's where the struggle happens. The caterpillar fights its way through that cocoon. It pushes, it strains, and it feels as though it's falling apart. But that pain, that fight, is what makes it possible to fly. You are the caterpillar. You are being stretched and pulled in ways you never imagined. You are in the cocoon right now, and it is uncomfortable. It feels like you're breaking. It feels like everything is falling apart. But let me tell you this, you cannot emerge into the greatness you are destined for unless you go through this struggle. So, are you ready to face the pain? Are you ready to confront the discomfort of letting go of what's familiar, of what's easy, and step into something greater? Because yes, it's going to hurt. Yes, it's going to challenge you in ways you never thought possible. But without this process, you will never become who you were always meant to be. This is the price of transformation, but it's worth it. Every single bit of it. You know what holds most people back? Fear. Fear of change. Fear of becoming someone new. Fear of the unknown. But let me ask you something. What are you afraid of? The fear of failure? The fear of making mistakes? The fear of stepping outside of your comfort zone? Fear is like the dark before the dawn. It's what you see when you're on the verge of something incredible. When the sun has yet to rise, the dark feels overwhelming. But when that light breaks through the darkness, it's not just bright, it's beautiful. Fear is your signal that something amazing is about to happen. Let me tell you this, the greatest danger is not the fear, the greatest danger is avoiding it. The greatest danger is staying stuck in the familiar, in the comfort of what you know. If you let fear control you, it will keep you in a cage and you'll never see what's on the other side. But here's the catch. Transformation requires you to face that fear head on. It's part of the process. You cannot grow if you don't step into the unknown. And that unknown, it's not as scary as you think. In fact, it's where your growth happens, where you finally step into the life you've always dreamed of. Take a moment and think about this. What are you so afraid of that is keeping you from becoming who you're meant to be? Is it rejection? Is it failure? Is it that you look foolish? The truth is, you will never know until you take that first step into the unknown. You'll never know the beauty that awaits you unless you push through the fear. Now, I'm not saying the fear won't be there. It will. But don't let it stop you. The most successful people in the world didn't let fear stop them. They used it as fuel. They faced their fears and did it anyway. So I ask you again, are you ready to step into the unknown? Are you ready to face the fear, knowing that on the other side is the life you've always wanted? And the darkness before the dawn isn't forever. And when you break through, you realize that the fear was just a signpost telling you that you were on the verge of greatness. Step into it. Step into who you were meant to be, because if you don't, you'll always wonder what could have been. And that, my friend, is the greatest regret of all. Let me ask you something. Who do you want to become? We spend so much time talking about who we are, but what if we flip that question and focus on who we could be? What if you took everything you've been told about yourself, your fears, your doubts, your limitations, and set them aside for just a moment. Who would you be if you didn't have all those voices telling you what you can't do? You are the sculptor of your own life. What you create, what you shape, depends entirely on what you choose to believe about yourself. Every single day, you're chiseling away at the raw material of who you are. Will you carve a masterpiece or settle for mediocrity? The choice is yours. You see, becoming unrecognizable is not about completely changing who you are. It's about becoming the best version of who you've always been capable of being. It's about uncovering strength, resilience, and courage that you may have buried deep inside you because of past failures, setbacks, or fears. The new you is disciplined. The new you is strong. The new you is fearless. And that person, that version of you, is just waiting to emerge. So think for a moment, what would your life look like if you left fear behind? What would it look like if you let go of every limiting belief that's been holding you back? Imagine that person for a second, the version of you that lives without the weight of doubt, regret, or hesitation. That person doesn't just survive, they thrive. That person doesn't just react, they control. And that person is waiting for you to stop holding them back. I'm telling you now, the person you want to become is already inside you. You just need to believe it. You need to be willing to fight for it, to shed the old skin and step into the new. The only question is, will you rise to the challenge? I want to get real with you right now. Discipline is non-negotiable. It's not optional. It's the foundation of everything you want to achieve. You can dream all day about who you want to become, but if you don't have discipline, those dreams will remain just that, dreams. Discipline is what separates those who talk about change from those who actually make it happen. Look at the most successful people in the world. They didn't get there because of talent alone. They didn't get there because they had it easy. They got there because they mastered the art of discipline. They showed up every single day, even when they didn't feel like it. They worked when others quit. They sacrificed today's comfort for tomorrow's success. Think about it. How many times have you seen someone achieve something great and thought, wow, they're so lucky? But what you didn't see was the hours of sweat, the early mornings, the late nights. What you didn't see was the grind behind the glory. Discipline isn't glamorous. It's not a quick fix, but it is the key to everything. Greatness doesn't happen by accident. It's built through consistency. It's built through the small decisions you make every single day. When you choose to work hard when no one is watching, that's when you start to build the unrecognizable version of yourself. Let me ask you something. How disciplined are you? Are you willing to get up every day no matter how you feel and take that next step toward your goal? Because if you're not, then you'll stay right where you are. You'll stay comfortable. You'll stay stagnant. But if you're willing to discipline yourself, to push through the pain and discomfort of growth, then you will step into a version of yourself that most people can't even begin to imagine. Listen closely. Your mind is everything. Your ability to succeed, to transform, to become unrecognizable comes down to one thing: mental toughness. And let me tell you something. Mental toughness is not something you're born with. It's something you forge, just like steel is forged in fire. When was the last time you faced something hard? When was the last time you encountered a challenge that seemed impossible, but you pushed through it anyway? That right there is when your true strength is born. Your mind grows stronger when it's tested. When things get tough, that's when you have the choice. You can either buckle under pressure, or you can rise up and show yourself who you really are. Let me break it down for you with an analogy. Think of your mind like steel. Steel by itself is strong, but it's nothing compared to what it becomes after it's been through fire. The heat, the stress, the pressure, it's what makes the steel unbreakable. And you are the steel. Every obstacle, every struggle, every bit of pain you faced is turning you into something stronger, something more resilient. But you have to choose to face the fire. Let's be real. It's easy to quit when things get tough. It's easy to look at the road ahead and say, this is too much for me. But when you do that, you're letting the challenge define you. You're letting the adversity break you instead of making you stronger. That's what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. The ability to keep going when everything inside of you is screaming to stop. Think about some of the most successful people in the world, people like Kobe Bryant, Oprah Winfrey, J.K. Rowling, and Steve Jobs. They've all faced rejection, failure, and adversity, but they didn't let it define them. They let it refine them. They used those challenges as fuel to push even harder. You face hardships, you face failures, and if you're still standing, then you've already proven your strength. But now it's time to build on that. It's time to use the pain, the setbacks, the struggles as the raw materials for your mental toughness. Here's the question. Are you ready to face your next challenge with unshakable strength? Are you ready to turn your adversity into the very thing that forges your success? The path to becoming unrecognizable is not easy, but it is possible. And every step you take, every time you push through adversity, you're carving away at the old you and stepping into the new. You are stronger than you think. And now it's time to prove it. Let me tell you something right now. The voice of doubt will come. It doesn't matter who you are or what you're trying to accomplish. When you begin to step into your greatness, when you start pushing for transformation, there will be that voice. It will whisper to you, you're not good enough, you're not strong enough, you failed before, why will this time be any different? But here's the truth. Your mind can either be your greatest ally or your worst enemy. Which one are you going to choose? That voice of doubt? It's not the truth. It's the reflection of your past failures, your fears, and your insecurities. It's the part of you that wants to keep you comfortable because comfort is safe. But here's what I need you to understand. Comfort will never lead to transformation. If you want to be unrecognizable, you need to learn how to silence that inner critic. When the voice of doubt speaks, you speak louder. You declare to yourself, I am becoming unrecognizable. That voice of doubt will try to keep you in the past, but you're moving forward, right? You're choosing to step into something bigger, something greater, and something real. Doubt doesn't get a vote here. You get to decide. And let me be clear, doubt doesn't just fade away overnight. It's a process. But the more you resist it, the weaker it becomes. Every time you choose action over fear, progress over stagnation, the voice of doubt becomes a little quieter. And one day, you'll look back and realize you've turned into nothing more than background noise. So when doubt shows up, and it will, don't panic, don't retreat, you fight back. You turn that doubt into fuel. You turn those I can't thoughts into I will actions. You have the power to silence that voice. Don't give it control. You control your destiny. And it's time to stop listening to the lies it's telling you. Resistance is real. It's not something you just read about in books or hear about from successful people. It's something that you will feel when you begin to change. When you decide that you're going to break free from your old habits, from your old self, resistance will rise up like a wall in front of you. But let me tell you something about that wall. It's not there to stop you. It's there to test you, to see if you have what it takes to push past it and claim the life you've always dreamed of. You will face resistance. It's part of the process. Think about it this way. Resistance is like a wall. And right now that wall might seem insurmountable. It might feel like it's too tall, too thick, too strong to break through. But let me remind you, walls are meant to be broken. The strongest materials are shaped by pressure. The tallest buildings are built on foundations that withstood forces far greater than they could have imagined. Now, I won't sugarcoat it. Breaking through that wall will hurt. It's going to take everything you've got. But what's on the other side? Your true potential, the person you were always meant to be. A version of yourself that no longer doubts, no longer hesitates, no longer shrinks in the face of adversity. You have to push through, because if you don't, that wall will stay there. And it will hold you back forever. It will keep you stuck in the same place, living a life of what ifs and maybes. And I don't know about you, but I refuse to live that way. So ask yourself, what's stopping you right now? Is it fear of the wall? Is it fear of the pain of breaking through? Or is it just the fact that you're comfortable in the life you have, even though you know it's not your best life? You have a choice. You can stay where you are and live a life of resistance, or you can push through and live a life of unrecognizable greatness. I'm telling you, The other side of that wall is where your transformation begins. Push through, fight for it. Your future self is waiting. The time has come. The choice is yours. You can stay the same. You can keep living the way you've always lived, letting fear, doubt, and comfort keep you locked in the cage of your own limitations. Or you can disappear. You can shed the old version of yourself and emerge as someone unrecognizable, a person who is disciplined, fearless, and unstoppable. But before you make that decision, ask yourself, what's really holding you back? Is it fear? Is it doubt? Is it the comfort of the past that you're too afraid to let go of? Whatever it is, it's not as powerful as the person you're meant to become. The truth is, if you don't take action now, you'll be left looking back at your life years from now, wondering what could have been. That's the price of inaction. You've been given a chance to transform. Don't waste it. Don't let excuses and comfort keep you from your destiny. I'm about to challenge you. Right now, in this moment, you have to decide, will you commit to your transformation? Will you stop making excuses and start making progress? You can choose to stay the same, or you can choose to make every single day count toward the person you're meant to become. The choice is yours. I want you to think about where you could be in a year. What if every day you made the decision to be better than you were yesterday? What if instead of letting doubt and fear stop you, you let them fuel you? What if you decided that today was the day you took full ownership of your life and never looked back? Transformation doesn't happen by accident. It doesn't happen when you hope things will change. It happens when you make the decision to commit, to do the work, to push through the pain, to face the walls of resistance and break them down. So I'm challenging you right now. Make the choice. Make the choice to commit to becoming unrecognizable. Do not wait for tomorrow. Start today. Disappear from who you've been and emerge as the person you were always meant to be. I don't want to hear about the excuses anymore. I don't want to hear about how you're waiting for the perfect time. The perfect time is right now. It starts with a single decision, and that decision will change everything. Are you ready to step into your greatness? Then let's go. Your transformation starts today.